Hey there, I'm Erica Santana, and we are currently in Opelika, Alabama. And I'm here in my friend Sam's backyard because he just so happens to have some bats up here in his attic. We're going to climb up here and see if we can get a closer look behind his bats. So lucky for us, we were able to catch a bat out of my friend Sam's attic, and I'm going to get him out here so we can take a little bit of a closer look. But bats are really neat and interesting animals, and they're very diverse. They range in size all the way from the teeny tiny bumblebee bat of Thailand, which only weighs 2 grams, that's less than the weight of a nickel, all the way up to the giant flying foxes of Southeast Asia that have a wingspan of over 4 feet long. Ooh, you can hear this guy, he's making some noise. See if we can get him out here. There we go. Look at those teeth. Now, there's probably about 1,000 different interesting facts I could tell you about bats, but the thing that makes them the most unique from other mammals is that they're actually capable of flying. And while you've probably heard of flying animals before, like flying squirrels and gliding lemurs, those guys do have a membrane that allows them to glide for certain distances, but they're not actually capable of sustaining flight like a bat is. And bats fly in very special ways. And when you think of a flying animal, you probably most likely think of a bird. And the way that a bird flies is by flapping its wings. And they have their entire forearm is comprised of a wing. So when a bird flies, it flaps its forearm just like this. But when a bat flies, it's actually just flapping its hand. So instead of flapping the whole forearm, he just flaps his little hand. And the reason he's able to do that is because he has a very modified hand. If we take a look here at the wing, you can see these long, bony structures, and those structures are severely elongated digits. So if we were to compare these to our own hands, it would be like us having really long, gangly fingers. Now, the bat's digits here are connected by this flexible, soft membrane called a patagium. And the patagium is very versatile, it's soft, it's flexible, it's movable, and this allows the bat to have a very fluid, almost effortless-like flight. Now this bat right here is called a big brown bat, and while he might not look very big to us, he's actually one of the largest bats that occurs here in the state of Alabama. And now big brown bats are habitat generalists, so they can occupy lots of different types of environments and do pretty well for themselves, but the one thing that they do need is a large dead tree to roost in. And unfortunately these days, with the deforestation and urbanization on the part of humans, those big dead trees are few and far between. So bats have modified their behavior by using human-made structures to roost in. So that's why sometimes we find bats in abandoned buildings and under bridges and in places like my friend Sam's attic, because they don't have those big, large trees to go to, so they modify their behavior by using those man-made structures. And this guy's getting a little bit feisty over here, and I don't want to stress him out too much, so we're going to let him go and say thank you to getting a glimpse into the world of these wonderful flying mammals. And there he goes, off to find a safe place to roost for the day, and then he'll come out at nighttime to feed. So the reason I decided to tell you guys about bats today is because I remember the first time I ever saw a bat up close in my hand. I looked at it, and it was just the weirdest, coolest, ugliest thing I had ever seen, those teeth and those ears, and it was just really amazing to see something that interesting, part of nature, in my hand, and I just loved it. I mean, I've always loved animals my whole life. Growing up as a kid, I was always in the outdoors, climbing trees, jumping in puddles, and I've had pretty much every pet in the book. So I decided to pursue a career in wildlife biology, and I got my undergraduate degree in wildlife science. And so I have training working with lots of different types of animals, birds, reptiles, but as I've grown in my career, I've taken a liking to mammals, so my specialty is more in mammals. And a majority of people who go into the science field tend to go into science because they don't like people, and they want to just immerse themselves in the science and in the wildlife and in the nature. But I'm really a people person. I love people. I come from a big family. I have lots of friends. And so I'm kind of stuck between the two worlds. So I love animals, and I'm a people person, and I think this would be the perfect opportunity for me to pair those things together, educate people about the things that I'm really passionate about, and teach them about these amazing creatures that we share this planet with, and teach them also kind of how they can modify their behaviors to make it a little more eco-friendly so that animals and people can live and coexist.